Good afternoon. My name is Court Johnson, and I'm the VP of Growth at AtScale. Today, we have Dave Mariani, AtScale's Chief Strategy Officer, providing a demonstration of how the largest retailers in the world rely on AtScale to modernize their analytics infrastructure. For those new to AtScale, we're a virtual data warehouse. Our customers span across all major verticals and include the likes of JPMC, Wells Fargo, TD Bank, Toyota, Wayfair, the Home Depot, and Kohl's. In today's presentation, we're going to speak specifically about the ways in which our retail customers rely on AtScale for their analytics initiatives. We'll cover how AtScale enables retailers to seamlessly adopt the cloud, accelerate their ability to go from store to SKU in seconds, provide one analytical platform for internal and external users like store managers and suppliers, deliver OLAP capability, measuring things like distinct customer accounts and analyzing customer retail calendars, and access data through a live connection with the BI tool of their choice. If you have specific questions, please enter them in the questions section of the webinar. If we don't have a chance to answer them on this demo, we'll make sure to follow up with you individually. So with that, I'll hand it over to Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Court. Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Today, I'm going to take you through a few slides just to give you an overview of what AtScale is all about, and then I'm going to go into a very detailed demo and show you how it works. So we're going to go very fast, so please, I apologize in advance. We want to cover as much ground as possible so you get a good overview. And if you want to do a deeper dive, just let us know, and we're happy to do so. So for in retail and for our retail customers, we've helped them to move from on-premise to the cloud. We see a lot of customers who are looking to move to either Google BigQuery or Snowflake from their on-premise data warehouses or even their Hadoop installations. And we can do that for you without creating all the disruption that's normally associated with the re-platform for all your downstream analytics users. We'll talk about that. And like Court said, we can go from store to SKU in literally under 5 seconds. Usually, with most of our customers, they had to actually pre-aggregate the data, and to get to SKU was about taking slices of data. You don't have to make that compromise with AtScale. You can get the full range of the 10,000-foot view down to the individual atomic data record. And then you can do OLAP, of course, which means that from your users, you can go from internal to external users and do that without having to have separate instances, separate security models, and the like. When it comes to retail calendars and counting distinct customers, typical OLAP types of functions, we got you covered. And that's what's so powerful for OLAP, except that we actually make it work at scale. That's why I founded the company, as sick and tired of using OLAP tools, traditional OLAP tools that pre-calculate and having to make compromises to get the data I needed. And finally, we do this all with a live connection. So if you're in retail, you probably have a lot of Excel users where probably that last mile of analytics is usually performed. Well, it's no longer about copying data to Excel or doing SneakerNet to get data into Excel. You can have a live connection to AtScale in Excel and use Excel as a visualization tool in its own right, in addition to other visualization tools. You can see our customers cut across a bunch of different industries. You can see that we have a very healthy representation in retail. And what all these customers have in common is that they need access to atomic data. They need access to with multi-dimensions, and they need to be able to do it without having to sacrifice their existing investments, either in their BI tools or in their data platforms. Most of these customers have also made migrations and upgraded their data infrastructures, either from moving from a data warehouse to a data lake, or moving from an on-prem data warehouse or data lake to cloud data warehouses like Google BigQuery, Snowflake, and Amazon Redshift. So here's some of the ways that we've helped with our retail customers. With Rakuten, we allowed them to first transform from an OLAP cube to Hadoop all through AtScale without any disruption to their business. And we allowed them then to migrate from on-prem Hadoop to Snowflake in the cloud, again, without business interruption. For Kohl's, it's all about getting atomic data so they can look at multiple years of history and actually empower their merchandising analytics group to look at their vendors and their merchandise like Nike sales, not just within an individual store or line of business, but across the whole entire enterprise. With Home Depot, it's all about Excel and Excel access for both internal and external users. So internal users managing their store sales to external users, vendors, and suppliers for Home Depot who are looking to manage their inventory at a SKU level across Home Depot stores. With Wayfair, it's all about continuing to leverage OLAP technology, but make it work in the cloud and make it work at scale. AtScale is the only vendor on the planet that can make Google BigQuery work with Excel with a native live connection. So before AtScale, and this is the story of how I began AtScale, is that this was my infrastructure at Yahoo, where I had relational data warehouses based on Oracle, where we invented Hadoop and a data lake to be able to keep us scaled up with the data size and the growth we were seeing. But supplying the business to the users with the tools they want to use was nearly impossible. I had to create different extracts, different data copies. I had no way to secure the data because it left the data center. And I had no agility to give the business what it needed because I had to create 5 or 6 different slices of the same data. With AtScale, you get all your data in one place. You get to secure it once. You get the performance of OLAP. You get to play the data where it lays. There is no ingestion. There is no loading data into AtScale. We leverage your data platforms to do the heavy lifting, but we allow the business to consume with the tools that they already know and love. So this is how it works, and this is what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you how we're going to be using Design Center, our visual modeler, to actually create a multi-dimensional view on some retail data. I'm then going to show you how our adaptive cache actually performs and speeds up data and queries against Snowflake. And I'm going to show you just how we can actually connect to do different types of tools, using Tableau for a SQL connection and using Excel for a live connection. And then I'll follow up and show you how we can do this with a massive data set, the Snowflake TPC 100 data set, which is 100 terabytes. And I'll show you how we're going to do that live in literally a few seconds or less. So you're also going to see all the full capabilities of OLAP, especially when it comes to retail, with period-to-period comparisons, with counting distinct customers, with multi-level metrics to compare store versus regions and the like. So connecting up your cloud platforms, AtScale can be your single source of truth, your single endpoint, your single pane of glass. So your users access one endpoint and your data can be stored on-prem in traditional data warehouses, on-prem in new data lakes, or in the cloud with cloud data lakes or cloud data warehouses, all transparent to your users, all giving you the flexibility of being able to introduce new data sets without retooling the enterprise. So today's demo is going to be a two-stepper. The first step is I'm going to pretend I'm a data owner, and I'm going to define and publish what we call a virtual cube on top of some retail sales data. Then I'm going to take my hat off as a data owner, and I'm going to become the persona of a business analyst. And I'm going to begin to explore that virtual cube that was just published, first with Tableau and then with Excel. I'll then show you and to give you a peek behind the scenes so you can see how AtScale and the adaptive cache does its magic. So let's get started. Again, apologies for going very, very fast, but I want to cover as much ground as possible. So let's first just start with an overview. So first of all, this is Design Center. Design Center has a canvas. The canvas, what you see here, this is Snowflake tables. The blue bars are facts or just fact tables, and the green bars are dimensions. We're not talking about creating ETL and creating star schemas here. We're going to model all this data straight on the raw tables in Snowflake today. What you see on your right is a preview of what the business user will see. They're going to see sales metrics, they're going to see their orders, they're going to see their customers, and they're going to see them all in full multi-dimensional glory. And so what you'll see in Tableau is that what you'll see is what you'll get. Here's that same view of that virtual cube in Tableau, and you can see we have customer attributes, dates, orders, and product attributes, and then you can see all our metrics. So what you see is what you get. So your users don't have to worry about all the mess that you see here in terms of all these relationships and all these different sort of data and retail calendars. All that's transparent to the user. So let's rebuild this model, publish it, and query it live. So I'm going to do that with a new cube, and I'm going to call it retail demo. So I just added a new cube, and I'm going to go into my cube and enter my model, and now I'm going to actually paint on my canvas. So you can see I have no dimensions and measures, and I have a blank canvas. I'm going to go to my data sources tab and look at my demo data schema here. This is all a database in Snowflake. And of course, we're reading all that Snowflake catalog, and we're doing all that transparently. That's all done just by connecting AtScale to Snowflake. I'm going to pull off the sales log table, which is just a table of raw data. So let's go see what's in that sales log table by double clicking on it, which then brings up what we call our data wrangling tool, which is where we're going to do our work. So you can see that we have a bunch of retail data here, and it's not really been transformed at all. I have orders. I have product info that's in an embedded string field, key value pairs. More on that later. You can see I have some dates, like an order date that's a number. I have dates that are strings. So I can actually start to perform my transformations right here on this canvas. So I can, for example, change that ship date key into an actual date from a number by just putting in a template, clicking the preview button, and what you'll see is, voila, you will see the actual transformation of that ship date as an actual date. So let's go and let's also add new data. So let's go and click on the add column button here, and let's add a transformation. Let's add sales tax as a formula. And I'm going to write a formula using our formula editor, and just create a sales tax calculation, multiply my sales amount times 8.5%. Go ahead and test the syntax, save that. That now becomes a virtual column in my virtual model, which now I can use across my data sets. So there you see your sales tax calculation in my sales log, what we call data set. So now let's go and turn those into dimensions and measures. So here you see my sales tax. All I need to do to turn it into a measure is to drop it on the measures tab. You can see AtScale is now going to create a measure, and we're going to create that measure, and you can see I'm going to just accept the defaults. You can see, for example, that we have all the different ways of summarizing it. That's OLAP at action. So here you see sales tax as a measure. Let's keep going. Let's go and look at order quantity so we can see how many items we've ordered of each product. Let's add in our sales amount so we can see what our basket sales was. Let's count distinct customers by dragging in the customer key. That's a cookie. It's a customer unique ID. And let's turn it into a distinct count, something I could never do at Yahoo with OLAP because I couldn't make it scale. With AtScale, I can do it just like that, and now I'm counting distinct customers, and I'm going to be doing that at scale. So there you see all my measures. Let's drag in some dimensions now. I'm going to go to our library. Our library is great because we have our data sets, which I just created here on the left, and we have our dimensions. So I can reuse these dimensions. For example, if I have a retail calendar, or I have a customer dimension, or I have my product catalog, I can reuse those and connect them up to this new source of data. That means these hierarchies and these roll-ups and these definitions are all going to be consistently applied across all your at-scale virtual cubes. Use once, define once, use many. So let's go and link them up. I'm going to link up my order date key to my date dimension and give it a prefix of order. And voila, what you'll see over here on the right in my preview is you can see my order date hierarchy has actually taken the form of that hierarchy. So it completely assumed that structure simply by connecting it up. I could do the same thing with ship date. So let's add ship date just by connecting it up. I can take my customer key and connect it up to my customer dimension. Simple as that. I could take my product dimension and link it up and do that like so. Got it. Now there's my dimensions. Now what about nested fields, JSON, XML? Normally fields that I would have to actually run ETL jobs to split them out so I can model them. I'm going to take color and size and make those part of my model right here in AtScale. So let's go ahead and do that. And I could do that by simply taking my my product info field, and AtScale recognizes it as a nested field, and I can just put in the keys of that nested field, color and style. Those now become virtual columns that I can now turn into dimensions, color, and style. No need to create dimension tables. AtScale is going to do that for you. That would have taken me months to do at AtScale. I now have a very nice model with degenerate dimensions for color and style, and I'm now ready for publishing and ready for my end users to consume this data. So let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and publish my Sales Insights project with my new cube. And my retail demo cube is now live and in the wild. So now let's go, and I'm going to take my hat off and take my hat off as a data owner and as a model designer. And I'm going to now put my hat on as a business analyst. So let's connect first with Tableau and see what this new virtual cube called Retail Demo looks like in Tableau. Well, now I'm logging in using my built-in drivers that come with my BI tools. There are no AtScale drivers. That's really important because that means there's no client-side installs to have all your users get access to all this great data. And there you go. There's a cube I just created before your eyes. Here's my customer attributes. There's all my date dimensions with my orders and my ship dates. Here's my product hierarchy. Here's my color and style field. So now let's go and run some live queries against Snowflake. Let's go look at my order quantities by product. Just did a live query. This is not a data extract. This is a live query on a virtual cube. Let's continue down this road and let's look at that color query and look at my customers or my products by color with a nested field. Remember, that was a key value pair in a string field. Let's go and look at order quantity and let's look at it by date. And let's do some drill downs starting with year. Let's go ahead and do a filter on 2008 and let's drill from year to quarter and from quarter to month. You can see how fast that is and how easy that is. Very natural, all being done with the metadata and the hierarchies that any business user can understand. Let's switch gears and now go to an Excel view. I'm now in Windows and I'm now going to power up Excel. So how do you connect Excel to AtScale? Well, what we're not going to do is we're not going to import data into AtScale. We're actually going to use Excel's built-in analysis services connector. So I'm going to go ahead and build that. I'm going to paste in my connection string into AtScale. You can see this time we're looking for at the XML listener for AtScale. I'm going to put in my single sign-on credentials. And now I'm going to see my retail demo here I just created now appears as a physical analysis services cube. So now what I can do is I can go ahead and finish my wizard, create a pivot table and chart. And now what I see is the same exact metadata that I was just working with in Tableau. I now see it in Excel. This, you guys, is the single semantic layer. And I can get the same performance, as well as the same answers, as well as the same security and governance rules, all applied consistently, regardless of how I'm accessing that data. Okay, let's swing back to Design Center. Like I said, I wanted to show you what was happening behind the scenes. So let's go back and let's look at our queries log, and let's look at our user queries, and let's see what was happening behind the scenes with AtScale. Remember that little lightning bolt for a moment, but let's go and let's scroll on back and let's look at that first color query we did, color and order quantity that we did in Tableau. This is what we call the life of a query. With AtScale, you're able to actually see exactly what time it took for our parsing and for what the outbound, in this case, this is what Snowflake took to execute the query. So the inbound query looks like this. Tableau sent a query that said, give me color against a sales insight schema and a retail demo table. Of course, those don't exist. Those are all virtual constructs. Sales insights is our project in AtScale, and retail demo, of course, is our virtual cube. So then what do you see in terms of the outbound query? Well, this is the outbound query we generated, where you can see we automatically exploded out color. So this is a query that you would force your Tableau users to generate. So we don't want any user to have to write a query or understand this kind of complex logic. AtScale has done it for the user transparently. You notice there's no aggregate used. This is the first time we've seen this cube called retail demo. It's the first time we've seen this pattern of query. Let's go back up to the top. And the last query we just did from Excel. And let's see what we did in Excel. Well, you can see in Excel, this time Excel generated an OLAP query. This is a MDX query. So we've now seen AtScale accept two different types of query dialects. And then we actually then performed two outbound queries, one for the totals and one for the body. Let's look at that body query. And what you see is that we've generated this query against Snowflake. But this time we actually accessed an aggregate. So AtScale, in between the time we first saw the query in Tableau, and then when we saw the query from Excel, we actually generated an adaptive cache aggregate. So if I look at that adaptive cache aggregate, you can see it was 8 rows of data because we have 8 colors, including the null. That's how AtScale can scale to handle your data at any kind of scale without having to do any kind of pre-aggregation. So I can have all the way drilled down to the very SKU, but I can actually get very good performance at any levels of the hierarchy. Okay, that's great. What about changes? Let me show you what used to take me at Yahoo 6 weeks to do. I'm going to add a new dimension to my retail demo. And I'm going to do that by going into my retail demo cube and adding a new dimension. I'm going to do that by adding not just style, but size as a dimension. It'll become a new virtual column. I'll create a new dimension from size. I'll come back here and then hit the publish button once again. I'll come back to my Tableau desktop. You notice there's only color and style here. I'll go ahead and refresh. Watch what happens. There's size. My new dimension I just added to my virtual cube. I'll get rid of all these nasty nulls. And there you have it. I now have a query of color and size with a new dimension I just added in literally 15 seconds. So a lot of you out there are probably saying, hey, Dave, you guys are faking this because you're just working off real small data. Well, now I want to show you how I could show you truly that this scales to big data. So let's go to Snowflake. So if you're a Snowflake customer or considering a Snowflake customer, what you can see is that Snowflake ships with sample data. And their sample data, they have let's look at the schemas. They have TPC DS, which is retail data. And I'm going to be using today the 100 terabyte data set. So I built a model in the TPC data set, which you see here. I call it TPC store and web sales. So here's all the metadata and here's all that raw TPC data that we used with, that we actually created with, on Snowflake. So let's go ahead and let's load up a new, let's close this out and I'll load up a new data source to actually explore that data. So let's go and let's load up in Tableau and connect to AtScale with this Snowflake 100 terabyte TPC data benchmark. So what we're going to see here is there's all my metrics. No cheating here. Store, web sales, you have it. And then there's all my dimensions. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about, I just ran a live query to say we're looking at 265 billion rows of data. And we're looking at over 13 trillion items sold. This is all live queries against that Snowflake data. Nothing done pre-done on this. So let's go ahead and let's go and get rid of that. Let's go get rid of that counter for a second and just keep our quantity sold. And let's do some real queries here. So let's start first with our time dimension. So let's go to our data attributes. Let's go look at our sold date and let's look at the calendar year and see what's sold. There we have it by date. Okay, let's go and now let's look at this by product. So let's look at our product attributes and let's look at our product dimension. And let's first start at the category level. Again, a live query, all running against AtScale and Snowflake live. Let's go and let's do a drill down and keep sports. And let's go and now look at what kinds of other classes of products we have in sports. Well, there you got it. There's the classes. Again, a live query, not a data extract. And let's now look at golf and look at golf. There's now golf, and let's look within golf. Let's go and look at customer demographics. Let's look at income band. Let's see if there's rich people who only play golf. Well, since this is TPCS DS data, and it's all generated, not really interesting insights. But what I want to show you is that by looking at the totals, this is live data. I just looked at 84 billion rows of data or 84 billion items, all done instantaneously with AtScale. So this is the power and this is the proof that AtScale can scale to anything that you have without compromise and without having to pre-aggregate data or to take slices of data using any tool you want. So Court, back to you.
Thanks, Dave. That's a really incredible demo, but thank you for sharing. So we got a couple of questions that came through that we were hoping that you could help us answer. First question is, how do you handle custom calendars?
Okay, what you saw in Design Center is you saw our ability to actually create custom dimensions. So if I look at, for example, that date dimension and I double click on it, you can see we have a whole set of options in terms of creating hierarchies and the like. So you can create a retail date calendar that's custom to your organization any way you want, because AtScale allows you to do that right here within the Design Center tool.
Perfect. And we're ending right here at the half hour, so we're out of time. There are a couple other questions that we can follow up individually with you. Just make sure that we have the proper email address to reach back out to you on. But with that, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to learn more about AtScale today and how we work with our retail customers. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to your account executive or feel free to reach out to us directly through the AtScale website, or you can email us at hi@atscale.com. You can also join us for our next demo, which will be on May 16th, where we're going to highlight how AtScale solves specific analytics use cases in the financial services industry. Thanks everybody for joining. See you next time.